Morning. Just walking into Sheffield's Graves Park. So Graves Park has kind of become my go-to place where I get a new tent or a shelter. I come and pitch it up here. So on this lovely green space that you see behind me, I've set up the Alpkit Giant 3, I've had the Hilleberg Alac 2 and the Anaris all pitched here as the test pitches, and today I've got another new shelter. It's a one-person tarp. It's the Liteway PyraOmm Solo. So a little bit further down here, just next to the big tree that you can see centrally, this is my spot that I come to. Obviously we're not staying here, it's just a test pitch, so I'm not causing any traumas. There's not really many people around, so I find this is quite a good spot, and this little, where it juts out, is really nice and flat for the testing of pitching. So we're looking at lighter options than the Hilleberg and Anaris, especially if I'm on my own. And the Liteway PyraOmm Solo, it weighs 405 grams. Now that's with the guy lines, and that is in its stuff sack as well. So it certainly fits the bill on lightweight. It does need seam sealing, which I've not done yet or before. I've never done that before. But I've never even had it out of its bag. So let's get it out and let's have a look. It is a trekking pole shelter, so I've brought these along with me. But let's see what's in the bag. So there we are. Lightweight. So small in its little stuff sack. My peg bag with some pegs in. And there's a pole connector which allows you to use single or double pole with it. But we'll have a look at options as we go through. So I've never even had it out of bag, so first impressions are it don't feel very substantial. 405 grams including the bag. I mean that is exceptionally lightweight. But let's see what we get. So a still nylon version, this one. Taped seams on the zip, on the front zip. And this has got the guys already attached by the looks. So there's some shorter guys at the bottom. And the advice is to peg it out with the four corners first, which I found one of them here. Oh, there we go. And then there's just a simple knot tied in the line. So there should be four of those. Like, right. Okay. So so we're definitely on the inside of it now. Yes, right, okay, so let's stick a couple of pegs in and see what we look like. I'll put the first peg here. We don't need to round it. I brought the 9-inch Easterns because we're obviously going to suffer extremely severe weather in these conditions. So I don't know why I brought these pegs, what were in my bag, but I could have done with some little small ones. It's not like I've walked particularly far. Anyway, let's stick rest at pegs in and get it up. I'm not sure that's quite right, but we have got some line lock tensioners on each corner, which should help us sort it out when we get it up. Now there may be a better way of doing this. This is the literally first time I've ever pitched it, so I'm just going to extend it out into its rectangle shape, and hopefully we get somewhat like what it should look like. Right, I've been faffing about it for about another 30 seconds. I couldn't work out where the thing were, the other corner were, because it'd gone like that, and all this is actually the inside. This is the corner that I'm needing. So let's get this pegged in and we'll have a look. Is that rectangular? It's certainly like off rectangular. It's not, I don't think I've done too bad though. To say I didn't know what I was doing, you have to remember that. Right, let's get a pole in. I don't even know what height you have pole. It's got to be 125, everything's 125. Let's try it 125. 125. There we go. Locked and loaded. Right, so it should be now as easy as opening this front door and shoving the, or maybe even not even opening the front door. But what a nightmare. You know when I thought I had it inside out? Well, I obviously had it right way around and I flipped it inside out now, because that thing there, the X-Pock fabric, is where the pole sits in it. So I need to change two of the sides around so that it's the right way, facing the right way. God's sake. Although it should be reasonably easy to do, because if I take that peg out and I take this peg out and then we just flip this over here, let's go there. There we go. We've got a rectangle. And it's right way around this time. Hopefully it's right way around this time. Let's try and get that pole in. Right, so in theory it should be quite easy now. Right. Well, it does look like I have to undo the door. That's seated in there. Magic! So straight away I've noticed one thing: the ground sheet that I've brought, which is just a pure rectangle, will not go in here because of where the pole is. So that's one thing I have to consider. But let's have a look at it zipped up and we'll have a walk around it. Do you know what? I think it's alright. I haven't been in it yet. And it doesn't look like there's a great deal of room in there with that pole right in the middle. But I think it looks alright. You know, for a first pitch, I certainly think if we put these extra, put these extra guys on that pull, you know, these sides out a little, I certainly think we've got some legs in terms of a bit of room. But anyway, for now, let's get in it and let's have a look. I'll take my hoodie off, I'm bleeding roasted. Right, come on, let's get in. Right, there's certainly not a great deal of room in here, especially with this single pole. But as I was right, if that pulls that out there and that pulls that out there, we have got, actually, quite a decent amount of room. Now, I'm not sure how many pegs I've brought, but I'm going to peg it out fully now. I'm going to get all the guys pegged, and then we'll come back in and have another look after. It's not bad. It's just this single pole seems to be the problem. Now I have got the pole connector that will allow us to make it a bit bigger. Or sorry, no, it'll move this pole out of the middle of it. So let's go and get it pegged out first. So one of my big complaints about the Naris is it doesn't have two zips, but this thing does, which allows us to have a little peepee all out of there whilst the bottom stays zipped up. And the zip functions with one hand even when it's not pegged in. So I'm liking this so far. So the doors are held on by a standard, like quite standardish toggle, and there's one on each side. So I've only got 10 pegs with me, I think. But this back side definitely needs 2 pegs in it, as well as I reckon the front door needs at least 1 as well to function properly anyway. I'll tell you what, it's quite stretchy. Oh, that's long, that. Look how long that guy line is there. But we can very easily shorten that out. I mean, luckily for where I am, I've got acres of space, so it's not really a problem. Now it's gone very odd shaped now, but I think when we pull this guy out, oh my god, they're absolutely insanely long. I don't think it's very well pitched to start with. I think I need to move this peg here, or maybe tighten it up a little. Right, I've not read any instruction manuals or really looked at anything, but I reckon that these corner guy lines here can attach to the standard peg. So I reckon if we're doing that in the 4 corners, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I reckon we can pitch this with 8 pegs. So let's finish getting it pegged, and then we'll have a look what we think, because it looks a bit of a mess at minute. I know, as soon as I've just said 8 pegs, I've found 2 more guy lines, which I reckon means we need 10. Let's have a look in a second. These line locks are so easy to use. It just pulls and feeds it so easily. Right, so I've noticed on this side that we've got this green and black, which is same as all the adjustable ones, and then we've got just this darker green one. Now this isn't fixed via a line lock, so I think by default it's the left hand door that you peg in. So I'm just going to swap that round. That's obviously you know, something I've learned as I've just pitched this, so I'm just going to swap that round. So I don't really ever see where you'd use this guy line, and I might take it off actually, because for me it's kind of just in way, because you're never not going to want to go out at door. Let's have a walk around it. 10 pegs, the structure we're up after just 4, and then I've guyed it in, and I think it's looking pretty decent. I think it's alright. You know, for 405 gram, I think it's pretty bob on. Anyway, let's have a look at what it's like inside with that pole, you know, the single pole that we're in way before. So let's get in and have a look. Oh. I'll tell you what, you've got a decent amount of room in here. You could easily fit a pad down past this pole now. And that's the pole set to 125, and in terms of the headspace, got acres to sit up. Now I am going to take the pole out. I'm going to put the pole connector in, and let's see what it's like with the 2 poles in there. But I think it's looking decent. Yeah, I think it's looking alright. So I'm going to set the second pole to 125, same as I did with the first pole. Lock that up, and let's put the pole connector in. So first of all, we need to take the original pole out. Now once the shelter's up, that might be easier than you think, so let's just get that down for a second. Oh, look how quick that comes down as well, that's beautiful. So the pole connector just slots over these ends like that. There we go. And then we should be able to push that up into the top at 10. Oh, bleeding connectors come out at connecting bit. Right, so we should just be able to shove this up into the top at 10. Which is there. Or does it? Alright, right, okay, so if we take it round like that. Now that changes the game. Look at the space in there now. Now you've not got that daft restrictive pole in the middle. Oh yes, mate. Acres of space. Yeah, this is mint. I'm enjoying it. I like this. I really, really like this. This is a nice tent. Well, bivvy. Tarp, sorry. tarp. Let's have a sit out and have a look. Brilliant. So as I was doing the door up, the zip worked quite well, but the pole kind of slipped because it's not poking into the floor. Now I'm wondering if this toggle, you see how it slips and it's moving about. I'm wondering if that could possibly do with some kind of peg or anchor point on it. I'm not really sure, but I mean, certainly for now, it's looking like a hell of a nice bit of kit. And I reckon the actual fly sheet that I've brought would fit in here. Well, I know it would because it's for a 2-person tent, so it would fit. But I don't think I kind of want it to. I think I'd put like just a Z light down, and then obviously I think the idea with these kind of things is to go into a bivvy. So you've got a little toggle up here that you can hang a lantern off. And I also suppose it's probably where the inner goes. A couple of toggles here, that side, and that side there for holding the door back. Little vents there. Get a bit of air into this top part of the tent. Yeah, I'm quite impressed. So let's get out, have one final little walk round and have a look, and then probably put it down, I suppose. So I've just discovered another thing. If we use this toggle here and put this into it here, right, the zip literally works in one. Oh, right, okay, so that's that spare thing. So the zip literally works in one, and will go up easy in one as well. So I think that's the key, and then even from the inside you can just tighten that line lock up to keep the door solid. I'm well impressed. I think it's magnificent. There we go. So that's my first pitch of the PyraOmm Solo Tarp in sil nylon from Liteway. I'm quite impressed. I don't think I've got it quite right. I'm pretty sure that pole should be in line there and maybe kept up somehow. Yeah, I don't know. But in terms of the first pitch, no kind of idea what I was doing with it. I think I've done alright there, and I'm quite happy with it. I quite like it. So a tarp shelter for 405 gram in weight. This one retails, I think it's 210 quid from Liteway, but then you've got to pay import duty. I bought it second hand off a guy who'd never even had it out of bag. He dropped on a different shelter and decided to get rid of this. So even though it's second hand and has been in storage for the last 6 months, this is effectively brand new. I do need to seam seal it. There's a few seams there, but I also think that if, with how it is inside, I think I'd probably only use it if I were going to put it in like an ultralight type bivvy style bag. You know, at least my sleeping bag. I don't think I'll bother seam sealing it. So if a little bit of water gets through, it's not really a problem once you're in a bivvy. So, but that's all for the future. You know, I don't know enough about it. I've not used it. I've never tried the bit of kit, so I don't really know exactly what I'm saying. And as you saw, we learnt a few lessons along the way putting that up. I'm going to drop the tent now. That's the end of today's video. But I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me and having a look at the Liteway PyraOmm Solo. Thanks a lot.